Welcome back to the lecture series on vernacular architecture.
Module 6. Here you can see that almost all the topics of this module we have already discussed in our earlier sessions, especially in modules 1, 2 and 3. But we are yet to discuss the vernacular architecture of the Agraharams of Kerala and Tamil Nadu with focus on the context and its influence in the regional character. This we will cover in this session. Besides, we will cover the aspects of culture, forms, spatial planning, architecture, morphology, etc. while we progress the session.
Introduction. Agraharam is a settlement usually formed near to temples and inhabited by the Brahmins of South India, except by the Nambudiris of Kerala. Agraharam is also known as Chadurvedi Mangalam. The word Agraharam literally means a garland of houses or Grihamala. These settlements follow a common pattern of row houses built on either side of a linear street, thus resembling a garland. Usually, the road has temples on both the ends. Planning of Agraharam. The settlement followed two distinct planning patterns. One is the gridiron pattern and another is the concentric ring pattern. In gridiron pattern, as given in the picture, the agraharam is laid out in single straight line along the cardinal axis of the temple. Here you can see the example of the temple town of Madurai in Tamil Nadu, where the agraharam settlement is planned in the gridiron pattern. In concentric ring pattern, agraharam is laid out in concentric layers. Here you can see the temple and the surrounding settlement of Sri Rangam in Tamil Nadu, which is laid out in concentric ring pattern. In both cases, whether it is a linear pattern or concentric ring pattern, the temple is strategically located at the center and becomes the focus. Another example is the Agraharam in the fort area of Thiruvananthapuram. Here, the settlement is planned concentrically on three sides of the Sri Padmanabha Swami temple, that is, on south, west, and north sides. Agraharam is planned according to Vastu canons and are laid out in grid pattern. The living units are laid out within two grids, the front yard and backyard being half grid each. Thus, the unit occupies three grids. The front yards of two face-to-face unit, which is one grid, becomes the street in between. The streets are often narrow. At the same time, the streets are used as extensions of the living space. Each unit shares its longitudinal external wall with adjacent units. All units will have a long veranda in front addressing the street. Veranda will have either stone or wooden pillars. The street in front of the unit is often transformed into active community space. It becomes the space for vendors, play area for children, a meeting place for elders, and a venue for festivals and religious processions. The backyard of the house are linked by narrow lanes which are often used as scavenger lanes. Ultimately, the settlement is having a closely knit structure which provides a high degree of security and facilitates community interactions. The architecture of Agraharam always followed the regional style. The row houses are either single storied or double storied. Pitched roof is a common feature of all Agraharam of South India. The houses look identical, but decorative features vary considerably among units. The long veranda in front with high plinth is usually used as sit-outs. The front door opens into an inner veranda, which is used as the guest space or study space. The ladder to the upper floor is also located in this room. The houses had an elongated, narrow profile in an agraharam. The courtyard was omitted at certain times, and a backyard was given as a utility area. Linear planning was followed in an agraharam, the rooms being arranged one after another on one side of a linear passage that starts at the street face and ends at the backyard. The central space of any agraharam is known as Reri. A courtyard will be there in Reri, not a separate space but forms an integral part of the Reri. This is a family living space as well as the space for storage. Now let us see the various components of the agraharam. The outermost space is known as the Puram Tinda. It is the long veranda running in front of the agraharam. This space also acted as a community gathering place where the men assembled for meetings. In certain cases, this Puram Tinda will have an enclosure. After that, you can step down into an inner space called Agamtinda. Agamtinda is a small room next to Purantinda, and this room incorporates the stairway leading to the upper story. From the Agamtinda, you can step into a space called a Redi. This is the central room in an agraharam which acts as the living space and for performing important religious ceremonies and rituals. After that, the space is called a Talam. It is the space around the courtyard and is the place for performing daily homam. Then there is a space called a Mittam, which is the courtyard and which is a part of the Redi itself. And often there is no separation between these two spaces. In Agraharam, the cooking space known as Adukala, which is an extension of the main built up space and has direct access to the well or to the backyard. After the kitchen, there is a space called a kuchil, and these are rooms located at the extreme end where the ladies stay during their menstruation. And in most of the agraharams, there is an upper story which is known as machil. Machil is the ati room. The room is accessed by climbing up stairway from the Agamtinda. The room is assigned for the use of couples. And there is a separate structure in the ground floor outside the main structure and is known as the kotel. Kotel is the independent structure located at the extreme end. It is often used as a cowshed or as a storage space. The scavenger lane can be accessed from behind the kotel. For further learning, You can watch the MOOC video on vernacular architecture whose link is given here. With that, the discussion on architecture of Agraharam is complete. Thank you.